Keir Starmer is stuck with a serious problem, and it's a defining problem for a politician. What constitutes leadership, and does he have the courage to stand by his friends, or the fortitude to hold them accountable when they've done something inappropriate? And this is the unfolding saga of Tulip Siddiq and her alleged links to corruption in Bangladesh. And it places Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, in the political equivalent of a moral escape room. The allegations against Tulip Siddiq, that she's benefited from properties linked to her aunt, Sheikh Hasina, the deposed and allegedly kleptocratic former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, and Siddiq's role in the UK government, ironically, is as the anti-corruption minister responsible for tackling illicit finance. That adds a layer of irony that is too potent for even Yes Minister to script. Keir Starmer's challenge, balancing personal loyalty to a self-described good friend with whom he's been on holiday, against mounting public and political pressure, notably from Kemi Badenoch, who has framed this as a credibility test for Labour. And the long-standing ties between Siddiq and Hasina's Awami League, that is really where the problem is, and it's then it bubbles to the surface in the property that Tulip Siddiq has been using in London. But it has to be placed within the context of, for example, Starmer's 2016 trip to Bangladesh, his ties, therefore, to the UK Awami League supporters, Siddiq's campaign endorsements from high-profile Awami League figures, the Awami League-linked properties used by Siddiq's family, and the ongoing Bangladeshi anti-corruption investigations. And Siddiq's referral to Sir Laurie Magnus, Downing Street's ethics advisor, and her insistence on her innocence, that's a sort of pussyfooting around the problem. Starmer's history of demanding accountability from Conservative leaders, from Boris Johnson and the Partygate issue, makes his perceived reticence here look particularly worrying. You have to contrast Starmer with previous Labour Prime Ministers like Tony Blair sacking Peter Mandelson not once but twice for impropriety. Is Starmer's reluctance to sack Tulip Siddiq rooted in personal ties, or does it reflect a broader hesitancy to address problems and problematic allies within his own party? Badenoch's sharp criticism, Starmer's good friend is now a distraction, and the allegations about the flat that was bought for her undermine Labour's claims to transparency. How Badenoch uses Siddiq to paint Labour as hypocritical or on anti-corruption issues, while diverting attention from Conservative troubles, is interesting. The problem with Badenoch is that she's not necessarily tarred with the same brush, is not necessarily corrupt herself. She is incompetent. That is a difference. But this distracts from that incompetence, I suppose. And the international dimension here, with reference to Mohammed Yunus, Bangladesh's interim leader, accusing the Hasina regime of embezzlement, calling for the return of stolen assets, would that include Tulip Siddiq's flat? Starmer's diplomatic quandary here, balancing the UK's ongoing relationship with Bangladesh while managing domestic fallout and responding to public sentiment, will voters see his dithering as a failure of leadership or an overblown media frenzy about Tulip's indiscretions? Louise Haig's resignation over a spent conviction That is another issue that lies in the background, the reluctance to deal with these issues, the perception that Labour's elite are out of touch with the proffered working class concerns that Keir Starmer is so eager to address, and yet he can't define what the working class is. Starmer's need to maintain credibility here is absurd in the way that he ducks the growing scrutiny over his decisions. So we come back to the real issue: what defines leadership? And Starmer has two paths: loyalty to a friend, that is a form of leadership, or the moral high ground of accountability, that is also a form of leadership. And in an age dominated by social media and quick news, I'm not sure which one I would recommend. Inaction, a drip feed of scandals, is certain to undermine Labour's momentum and Starmer's claims to integrity. The fact that he hasn't addressed these issues is the problem. And I suppose in the end you come to that knife edge issue. Does Starmer have the guts to emulate Tony Blair's decisiveness, or will personal loyalty cloud his judgment? And please, I invite you to reflect on this. To what do you expect of your leaders? What do you expect of a leader, not just in words but in deeds? And can Starmer really rise to the occasion, or will Siddiq's shadow loom over his tenure? This is the problem of Tulip Siddiq, and it's a problem of her making. At any point, she could solve the problem for Keir Starmer by resigning herself. At any point, and if indeed she were a good friend, she would sort this out herself. But I don't think her friendship goes that far, does it?